Welcome back to the Nuance Diaries, where I write the stuff that deeply sensitive, feeling people are thinking but not always saying, aka your group chat out loud. I want my vulnerability to be on display as a permission slip for yours. And today's essay is called The Wise Beyond Her Years to You're Amazing Pipeline. Girls who never throw tantrums become women who never drop the ball, and that is not a good thing. I have tried recording this one almost 10 times. It hasn't happened in like months or maybe even a year. And I'm just going to try to do what I was always told as an actor when I was like overacting or what monologues. Just like say it. Just say it. And that's it. So this is a quote we're starting off with from another essay from the Nod magazine. I'm tired of being amazing. I don't want to be amazing anymore. Single sentence becomes the crux of the show and of modern motherhood. Jenny Kaminski, Dakota Fanning, a hardworking publishing executive, meets Marissa when they are hiding out in the bathroom at a school event. The two forge a friendship over twinning in the same dress and dealing with the same dilemma. They are tired of the platitudes their husbands serve them, of doing it all at home and at work, being told they can have it all if they really work for it. End quote. In All Her Fault, Dakota Fanning plays Jenny Kaminski, a married wife and mother carrying the load of a single mom. She takes care of her young son and her husband, a man who does not clean up after himself in the kitchen, and texts her to ask where the son's water bottle is. When I finally started watching All Her Fault weeks after hearing the well-earned buzz, I was both excited and not at all surprised to see Dakota Fanning playing Jenny. Something about the casting made perfect sense to me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I just knew Jenny Kaminski equaled Ray from Uptown Girls. After sitting with my thoughts some more, I realized it's not just Ray. Dakota Fanning's entire extensive resume has clearly laid the groundwork to lead her straight to the role of Jenny Kaminski. It feels like the writing was on the wall in a very unique and specific way. Jenny Kaminski is very much who I imagine all of Dakota Fanning's characters from childhood could have grown up to be. An amazing woman doing it all. Who better to play a wife and mother who is doing it all than an actress who grew up playing children who also had to do it all? Who better to play the new friend of a mother whose son has just been kidnapped than a woman who has herself played a kidnapped child? And for context here, Dakota Fanning has played multiple little girls who either ran away or were kidnapped at some point in the film. Both Lily Owens from Secret Life of Bees and Lucy from I Am Sam ran away. Abigail Jennings from Trapped and Lupita Ramos from Man on Fire are both kidnapping victims. And Ray also runs away to Coney Island in Uptown Girls in one of the most pivotal and memeified scenes in cinematic history. How surreal to now play a mother supporting another mother with a missing child. Some of the initial details and musings that sparked my early connection to Ray and then more of Dakota's incredible roles include 1. I knew Ray would be a wonderful mother if she chose to have children. Girls who have complicated relationships with their mothers sometimes pass down all the trauma. Sometimes they do all the work necessary to break the cycle and become much healthier moms. I think Ray did the latter. 2. I knew Ray would have a fabulous career and be such a ball-busting badass. You can really see Jenna's inner child, if she is the precocious spitfire that is Ray, come out when she's working. 3. Jenny Kaminski is both a member and an outsider. She lives in this Monterey-type town, very big little lies, except it's Chicago. But she's also on the outskirts of it, too. She's not playing their games, and she sees through the bullshit. Ray's world in Uptown Girls was also one of deep privilege, but she also saw it for what it was, much as childs could. 4. Jenny Kaminski knows the life-giving power of female friendship. Many of Dakota Fanning's younger characters were saved by strong, loyal, unconventional women in the form of Molly Gunn, Brittany Murphy, R.I.P., the Boatwright sisters, and Jennifer Hudson, She Left the Bees. These women were the Miss Honeys to these characters' Matildas, women who stepped in and redirected the course of little girls' lives with their compassion, care, and strength. Jenny Kaminski's husband warns her not to get involved because it looks like their family could be linked to the crime. because Kaminski's nanny goes missing the same day that Milo does. She immediately ignores his advice and becomes Marissa Irvine's biggest supporter and true friend. And also, I gotta say, it's worth noting that some of Dakota Fanning's characters did have some good male models as well, like Sam I Am and Sam from I Am Sam. My God, it's Cat Matt. And Denzel Washington from Man on Fire, which I've not seen, but Denzel Washington, I think, would make a great role model. So, positive influence. I think that's fair to assume. Okay, 5. Last one. It is unfortunately very believable that a grown-up Ray would stay with an incompetent man like Jenny Kaminski's husband, who was about as useful as furniture. Ray's father died when she was young, and I can see her wanting a quote-unquote perfect two-parent household. A grown-up Ray might honestly feel lucky to have a husband like Richie Kaminski, who is trying to be present. I know it's tempting and far more empowering to think of Ray having higher standards than that. It is a far more redeeming arc to imagine mature little girls as women who take no shit. Some of my friends looked at the husband and all her fault and thought, isn't it unrealistic that those women would stay with men who have so few redeeming qualities? You might be thinking, if Dakota Fanning's characters had all these amazing influences, how did she grow up to be Jenny Kaminski, this overworked woman married to a man who wasn't showing any interest in her life or actively contributing to her child's life? Children who are praised for their maturity and competence often become adults who think that carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders is normal. I would know. Too many people know what it's like to feel lucky when they get scraps. Many of us even convince ourselves we're full when we've actually been starving our entire lives for something we've rarely or ever tasted. I would know. When I was around 6, my family's flight was delayed for 12 hours on the way home from spring break in the Caribbean. After finally landing JFK at like 3 a.m., we waited in baggage claim for what felt like forever. When I spotted my dad's worn beige leather duffel, I tried to get my parents' attention. And I don't remember how long or how hard I tried to get their attention or how loud I was. I have no idea why they didn't hear me or notice bags themselves. All I knew was that I did not want to be in the airport any longer than I had to be. And so I made the swift decision that I would get back myself. And that caught my parents' attention. They were so shocked and so proud of me. My strength, my observation skills, my proactivity. The story we tell all the time to this day. The story in which I am the hero. Another time, months or maybe even years later, we were at the garage and our car wouldn't start. We went outside to call the car manufacturer people or whatever, and I heard someone on the other line ask for our car's license plate number. After my parents fumbled around for a minute, considered going back in the garage, check the car, or see if they had the number saved somewhere, I just blurted it out, the number. I still know the number. I couldn't believe they didn't know the license plate number we looked at every single day. Part of me honestly thought they were just joking and didn't know it, and they actually did, and were testing me. Again, I was praised for my swift thinking, my observation skills, my memory. Time after time, the messaging kicked in. I am so mature. I am so responsible. I am great remembering things. People are so impressed by how put together I am and how well I take care of things. I'll keep doing that. And I did. I kept doing that. I took on more than I should have had to handle, made it look easy, and kept collecting praise. And here's a quote from Dakota Fanning in an article or interview with Olivia Hancock in a publication called Birdie. The character that I play epitomizes the modern woman. Somebody who's trying to be everything to everyone. A good mom, a good wife, a career woman, a good friend. Struggling to do it all and questioning if she can. I think regardless of whether a woman is married or has children, we all feel the push and pull to be everything to everyone at all times. There are moments when you just want to scream, I'm just a person. There is only so much I can do. End quote. I've been quietly relating to mothers who carry an inordinate mental load since I was a child. I remember watching and then reading, I don't know how she does it, in high school and feeling a very strong connection to this quintessential woman who was being praised for doing it all. I just thought, can't anyone see how tired she is? Can't anyone see that she needs help? The thing I've now realized at 30, still childless, still relating to married working moms who are forced to function single parents, women often don't actually need help. We want it, we deserve it, but we are used to not having it. And therefore, we don't need it because we have trained ourselves not to. What kind of training, do you ask? Asking for help, never getting it, and finding a way to keep all the balls in the air at the expense of ourselves and our own needs. Women who look like they don't need help are women who don't get to have their own needs met. Sometimes life wakes us up in big ways, forcing us to see the cracks in our system's mental loads. The Irvine family, of the missing child, experiences this kind of jolting, dramatic wake-up when their son is taken. The Kaminski family experiences a slower, more subtle wake-up. Jenny, Dakota Fanning, could have technically gone on living the way she was. There were cracks, but those cracks were more nuanced and stitched into the fabric of her life. You could make the argument that her husband is not as bad as Marissa's, and in some ways you'd be right. But is not as bad good enough? This is a quote from fellow Substacker Linda Ayula. Even the most capable woman, will break if she carries everything alone. It shouldn't come as a surprise or a spoiler that the title All Her Fault refers to the ways that men blame women for not carrying the weight of the world perfectly. It's like blaming someone for dropping one of a million things instead of realizing that their load is much heavier than it should be. In therapy recently, I said something to the effect of I'm carrying everything really well, and I don't have time. I don't want to stop and put it down and talk about it, because if I just keep carrying it, I don't have to think about how heavy it is before I pick it up again. In addition to building the strength needed to carry such a heavy load, we also have to find the strength to bottle up our growing resentment for people who have both praised and criticized us, like the men of All Her Faults. The push and pull of being called amazing and then criticized in the same breath is a special kind of whiplash. I, for one, get really defensive when people who've never walked in my shoes criticize me. It's everyone, by the way, for the record. Even if our lives are similar, we have never truly walked in anyone else's shoes. I have really done my best to remove words and phrases like should and, well, if I were her, from my vocabulary, to stop myself from judging people who I know are trying their best. We could all stand to do that more often, far more often. I'm not going to patronize you by tying up an essay about the complexity of the mental load with a neat bow. I don't have a neat bow. I'm out of string and I'm too exhausted to go buy more. So instead of that bow, I will leave you with a few podcast recommendations about carrying the mental load of motherhood and being called a superhero, featuring the wisdom of Amanda Doyle, Glennon Doyle's brilliant sister, on their podcast We Can Do Hard Things. And one more thing. You are amazing. Kids, married, single, girlfriend, woman, carrying mental load. You're not amazing the way that people mean it when they are praising everything you're doing. Amazing as in you are so amazing and you have so much to offer this world beyond taking care of other people. Amazing as in you are doing such an amazing job surviving this crazy world and being a human, and you should go take a nap if you can. Amazing as in you're not amazing despite dirty dishes. You're amazing because of them. Amazing as in drop the measuring stick of everyone else's expectations and go pour some of that amazing energy back into you. Because you deserve it. And okay, maybe that was a little bit of a bow, but I can't help it. I have a lot of practice keeping things tidy, and it's a hard practice to break. I love a tidy bow. P.S. This is totally a joke, but you know who else probably relates to carrying mental load of an overworked, stretched thin, do it all, make it look easy mother? Nick Jonas. specifically the version of him that he plays in a very Jonas Christmas movie. At one point, he literally screams, like, "You can't get mad at me for making all the decisions when I always make all the decisions." And ooh, did I feel personally attacked. Let your family take care of themselves for a few hours and go watch that movie. It's really funny. And also, if a man uses that PS I just had as an excuse to say that men are not getting enough credit for the mental load that they're carrying and somehow twists that example into the male epidemic of loneliness, I swear to God. I swear to God. Thank you so much for listening. The Nuance Diaries is free because I want to make my writing and the podcast here accompanying it accessible to all of you. But that being said, it's labor of love, and every single like and subscribe and share and tip helps me so much more than you know. So yeah, links for those podcasts and links for where to subscribe, share, like, and tip me are all inside at Substack at thenuancediaries.substack.com, linked here. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves. You're amazing. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.